Hello and welcome to another episode of
Living News.
We're so glad you joined us today, and we hope that you really enjoyed the show. When we put it together, the team put it together, we had you in mind. So thank you for joining us. I'm Corinne.
And I'm John, your regular host for Living News.
Yes.
And again, Corinne, looking forward to tonight's program. And so it's different, like all our programs are, but it's it's good. Looking forward to it. We're going to interview some people, and our focus tonight is more about young people. And so let's looking forward to that. Now, again, folks, just want to remind you, if you've got a good news story that you'd like us to present on Living News, please contact us either on Facebook or YouTube, and leave us a message so that we can contact you and present or interview the subject that you would like us to do.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yep.
And also last time, I don't know whether you remember, Johnny, but we asked you for your feedback. And I'm so glad that some of us gave us a feedback because, you know, we want to make sure that the show appeals to the, not the show itself, but the message that comes across, appeals to the audience. So Johnny and I are more than happy, aren't we?
More than happy.
Because we're not professionals, but we so appreciate your feedback.
Yeah.
And thank you for those who have given us those feedback. And we will definitely try and work with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, Corinne, just remember, folks, that if you've got you want to actually make any comments while we're live, you can. And if it's the comments at the right timing and so forth, we'll actually the people that are working behind the scenes, they'll actually put it up on screen live. And also, if it's a question that you want to ask or a comment you want to make to the people that we're interviewing, and if we get it in time, then we'll ask the interviewees that question if it's appropriate.
Sounds like a good idea. And we already had one comment from Nad.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you too, Nad.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's get started, and this Living Well segment that we normally start off with. So thank you.
Welcome to the New Start program today. We'll be talking today about the letter A, and A is for air. So air is very important to us. So let's go back to the very beginning when God created mankind. God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Genesis 1:27. He breathed the breath of life into our lungs, and man became a living person. God created mankind from the dust of the ground. God filled our lungs with air from his very own breath, but he also created fresh air for all the animals on earth. And he created the trees, and the trees filter the air and make it clean for us every day, so we have beautiful fresh air to breathe every day of our life. To stay healthy, we eat 3 healthy meals a day. We drink 8 glasses of water a day. But we breathe approximately 20,000 times a day. So let's learn a little bit about why breathing in fresh air is so important. Fresh air is really important for our bodies. Fresh air fills our lungs and sends oxygen to other parts of our body. We can live without water for a little while. We can live without food for a little while. But we need to breathe all the time. Most of the time, we just breathe. We don't even think about it. But have you ever noticed when you're exercising sometimes, you get really out of breath? This means that your lungs are just trying to get more oxygen. So regular exercise is really important to make strong, healthy lungs and also to get that oxygen flowing through the rest of your body and keep all your organs healthy. A great way to get more exercise and get healthy lungs and a healthy body is to join a sports club or spend more time in the garden enjoying the fresh air. So make sure you get off those laptops and computers and get out and enjoy God's beautiful fresh air and the trees and the flowers. So when we exercise regularly, we breathe in deeper, we send more oxygen to our lungs, and we get more blood to our whole body. So we get fitter on the inside and the outside. Do you struggle to get to sleep sometime? Have you noticed how well you sleep after spending a day out in the fresh air, like at the beach or on a picnic? Fresh air gives us energy to exercise, and that helps us sleep well. So have you ever wondered how the trees help give us fresh air? When we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and so do all the animals. The trees and the plants help change the carbon dioxide that we breathe out back into oxygen. So that's a great reason to give a tree a big hug today. You don't need to worry that we'll ever run out of oxygen. God's provided for us. It's important to look out for our trees and plant new trees and plants in our gardens, and they in turn will look after us. We need some fresh air inside our homes too. So indoor plants are a great way of getting some fresh air into your house. Just like trees, they give us fresh air to breathe. And don't forget to leave a window open somewhere just a little, just to let some fresh air circulate through your home. And let the smelly air out. So remember to be grateful for the fresh air. Next time you hear the wind howling, or the smell of fresh air after a thunderstorm, or at the beach, remember to thank God for His beautiful gift of life-giving fresh air. God's gifts are absolutely amazing. Thank you, God, for the gift of our bodies, the air that we breathe, the trees, the plants, the wind. They all work together to keep us happy and healthy.
Thank you, Janet. That was very good and very educational as well. I heard in her segment, we breathe 20,000 times a day. So we want to make sure it's fresh air, yeah? That's a lot of times.
Yeah. What's interesting about air is that, actually, before I say what I was going to say, is that I don't know if you realise, but air was the letter A in the New Start that we've been covering for quite a few weeks now. We did NEWST, and this was A today, and we've got two more to go.
Yeah.
It's R and T.
Wonder what they'll be.
That will be the next couple of episodes. We'll cover the others off. So that's good. What I was going to say, Corinne, is that what's really interesting about air is people believe in air.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they believe in it even though they can't see it.
Good point.
Because we have to breathe it. It keeps us alive, and we trust that the air is there. But imagine if you're stuck in something and you didn't have any air, how would you feel?
Won't work for me.
That would be terrible.
It won't work for me.
Oh,
won't work for a lot of people. I don't know about you, but it's a bit also. I know that people talk about air like God. He's around, but we can't see him.
Yes.
But he's there.
Exactly.
So,
That's the point I was trying to get to. But
we
wanted you to say it.
We got there eventually, which is good. Which is good.
Yeah,
thank you for that, Janet.
good.
Really good.
But air is really important for our lungs, and to get our lungs working properly.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to a course once, and this guy held the world record for holding his breath in deep sea diving.
Wow.
And he was really good. And there's a book about him. I've forgotten his name now. Anyway, and he showed us how to breathe. And, a lot of people, when you breathe, they go like that, and their lungs go out. But you shouldn't actually breathe through your lungs. You actually breathe through your stomach or your diaphragm. And he told us about putting your hand on your stomach.
Yeah.
When you breathe, your stomach should go in and out. So your stomach goes out and your stomach goes in. It's not your chest; it's your stomach.
There you go.
If you want to breathe more.
That's so
and
true.
So he told us about you breathe in as much as you can in your stomach. Then you breathe into your chest. Then you breathe into your shoulders. I can't remember what the last bit was, up to your throat.
Into your shoulders.
And that's what he did. So there was like 8 points, ends up getting all this air in to be able to hold it so long. But it just goes to show how important air is. And
I'm so glad you made that point. I'm learning from you as well. And also, I have attended a course a couple of years ago, and I know you did the same course as well. It's called DARP, Depression and Recovery Program.
Mm-hmm.
And they also taught us how to breathe. And just this week, there was a situation where I was with someone and they were, a little bit getting nervous.
Yes.
And, I sat with them and I said, let's go through it together and, holding the breath and breathing the air in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things about learning how to breathe properly. I agree with you.
Maybe our audience can try that now. Let's breathe in. We'll go breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in.
We didn't practice
2,
this.
3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4.
Very good. Calms you down.
Calms you down.
Yeah.
We're all calm now. We're too calm now, Corinne.
Too calm, but we can't be.
We're going to get excited. We've got so much happening now tonight.
Let's go.
Let's go. Our next segment is we haven't had a book review for a while because Sylvia's been really busy and been away and having a nice holiday as well. And so Sylvia's actually going to be with us tonight.
I'm excited. I've missed her.
But before she does, before we introduce her, let's have our clip.
Yep.
Where is she?
She's coming.
She's coming.
Here she is.
Hi, Sylvia. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Lovely to see you both.
Good. Welcome back to the team, Sylvia. We've missed you.
Thank you. It's very nice to be able to see you live tonight.
Yeah,
very nice to see you.
And for those that don't know, Sylvia's was part of our initial team, and she's been responsible for the book reviews. And in our last segment, we interviewed a guy called Tony Knight, and he shared a few books with us, and we just touched a glimpse of the book that Sylvia's written, and we just wanted to talk to Sylvia about this new book that's just been released. So thank you, Sylvia, for joining us again tonight.
Yeah, you're welcome. And of course, I'm excited to, be able to hold up this lovely, lovely book. And even though it does, have my name at the bottom, I am the compiler. So I want to be clear that a bunch of amazing women have actually contributed to this book, including some women that would be familiar to some of these viewers. The great thing actually about the contributors are that they're all Australian women, and the feedback that I have really enjoyed hearing is when people let me know that they got so excited because they flipped to a chapter and I know this person. So wow. I think there's something really special about maybe opening the book and going, hey, we know her, right?
Kimberly
McMurray. Or maybe this one. And this maybe is more nostalgic now, seeing as she's decided to move herself up to Queensland. But again, you go, oh, we know that lady.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty special when you can look through and go, oh, these are all Australian women that we know.
Now, a few months ago, Sylvia, you shared a book with us that was also had different women in it that had written different parts of it. And you're going to share that.
I'm looking to see if I've got one behind me. I do. That was this one here.
Yep, it is. And we actually gave some copies to the audience that watched. They contacted us and they asked for the book, and we gave to them. We only had limited numbers. But what's the difference between this book and the other book?
Well, I have 3 copies to give away as well.
Oh,
So
Wow,
awesome.
I'll let you figure that out with your viewers, but I have 3. The difference is, so the book that I talked about a few months ago was kind of an interview style question answers that the compilers had sent out to a bunch of women to really talk about just being called. How had God called them, whether to be an educator or in ministry or whatever it was they were doing in life, how they had felt God's call. And that's what that book is about. They are just really stories about being called. Whereas this book is actually a devotional journal. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's have a look at this one because it's beautiful. So this is Kira Lee Josie. Now, some of you may or may not remember that last year and the year before, there was also a bunch of beautiful cards.
Yes.
And some of you at Casey would have received one in the post during COVID. They're lovely cards. And all of these cards have affirmation statements. So we had 26 cards. And so we invited 26 women to write on one card each. So, for example, we gave someone this card and we said, we'd like you to write a devotional on I am strong. And we want you to use the Bible verse that's on the back, which in this instance is Proverbs 31:25. And so that's what the women did. So in this instance, we've got I'm on I am faithful. So the card itself actually looks like this. The book has color images in it. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful book. So there's a devotional. And then after the devotional, this is where I get really excited. There is actually a journal. So there are questions. So there's a space for you to reflect on what you've just read. Now, the book itself can be used, for your own personal journey. So as you read a devotional and you sit and you reflect on the questions that have been put at the end of that devotional, it's an opportunity for you personally to reflect on what that might mean for you or how you might understand God. But also it's designed in a way that it could be used in a small group. So where the small group can sit together, read the devotional together, and then have a discussion using the 5 questions that come after the devotional. So the idea is that this isn't just a book to read, but it's a book that will allow you to go on a bit of a journey, which is why I really love the cover. It has that sense of, setting out and going on an adventure. So yeah, that's really, they're quite different because this book is designed really to help you grow spiritually. I mean, it's about spiritual transformation. It's about allowing yourself to sit with God's word and to work in your heart. So I'm pretty excited about this book, as you can imagine. I could go on and on, so I'll stop now.
Well, you know what? When I accidentally saw that book had been done, I was so excited because someone actually handed me a card once. I remember I did receive a card. And not only was the graphics amazing, I'm a visual person, it just appealed to me straight away. Like Sylvia said, it had a beautiful verse at the back that really gave you, mine was I am calm. And the day I got that, I wasn't calm. And I thought, oh, wow, this is like a message from God saying, I've got you, you are calm. And also, if you've ever had one of those cards, they're absolutely beautiful. When you touch them, it's got a nice feel to it as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen those cards? Yeah. I've got mine still in the office. It's got a nice feel to it. So it looks good. And when you touch it, it's just really, that's the one I have. I have it sitting next to my desk on a stand. And during COVID, I actually bought a few of those because I loved it. And I remember just thinking, if I bump into someone and we have a conversation, I'll give them one to encourage them. Because I just, when you love something, you can't wait to share it. And I believe, Sylvia, thank you so much again for doing something so beautiful, because we can actually use that and give it to people. I know there's, you're talking about group scenarios and all that, but imagine giving this. We're not talking about young people on the show today. This is fantastic. Giving someone a book like that for Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them to journal, for them to, to ask questions and to write down their thoughts. I absolutely love it. And I can tell you, I will be getting some.
Yeah. So if you're going to get some, maybe we need to tell our audience where they can actually get this book and the cards. So Sylvia, can you tell us where can our audience get this book and the cards? Because not all our audience are in Victoria where we are. We've got responses from people all over Australia, even New Zealand and overseas. So where would people get this book? So
No, good question. And I before I totally answer it, I just want to just pick up on what you said, Corinne, for our young people. The reason we've chosen a variety of women, older, younger, is to make it appealing to all ages. And recently I was at one of our high schools, and I had a year 10 girl who actually came and told me that she had a copy of this book and was just loving reading the stories. And that just, I was just so excited that it appealed to a young person, which is what we had really hoped for. But anyway, as to where you can get this book, and I want to say, Corinne, if you haven't actually touched the book, has the same feeling. It's the silk laminate cover, so it feels really beautiful, and it's just lovely to touch. So the Adventist book centres around Australia, so whether you're in Victoria or New South Wales or WA.
And New Zealand?
And New Zealand, I can't see why they couldn't get some. For New Zealand, they may need to contact the Australian Union Conference Resource Centre. So, of course, Tony was on last month, and he chatted about some of the books that have come through the Resource Centre. So if you have no luck with the Adventist Book Centre, then just get in touch with the Resource Centre at the Union office. But they're the two places where you can order these. I know that at some of the women's retreats around the different states, they've been taking those books along so that women can buy them at the retreats. But yeah, the best bet is the Adventist Book Centre.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you. And already asked you. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking while you're thinking. Can I say something?
Yeah, go on.
I was thinking, I want to thank you first for giving out 3 books. And if you've just tuned in to us now, or even because a lot of our viewers actually watch later as well. So we're going to wait a little while and give people some time to watch it, so you don't miss out on an opportunity to touch base, with us and request for the books.
Can I make a suggestion?
Why don't you do that?
Okay,
yeah.
My suggestion is that if you're interested in the book, right, to receive one of the 3 books, then send us a message. Okay, you can private message us as well if you want to. If you don't want to put it up on, on normal Facebook chat, if you want to private message us, send us a message and say that you're interested. We'll put all those names into a hat or a box or something like that. And at the beginning of our next episode, we will actually draw the name out and we'll actually say who gets it.
I love that. Did you just come up with that?
Yes.
That is so brilliant.
Okay.
That is so good. Thank you.
We'll get them off you sometime, Sylvia, between now and our next episode 10. So thank you, Sylvia. Thank you very much for coming on. Was there anything that you wanted to share that we may have missed?
No, I was just really thrilled to be able to do book review live tonight. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Look at all these messages about missing you.
Yeah.
You can tell you've been missed.
So, yeah, we'll need to get another book review next month, Sylvia. The people are saying they've missed seeing you, so let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, we'll do my best, definitely.
Oh, good on you.
No, thank you, Sylvia.
Thank
We
you,
understand you
Sylvia.
can't do it each time, but maybe every couple of episodes. Let's see how we go.
We'll take
Miss
what we
you
can.
guys too.
Yes,
All right.
lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Bye. Love you, Sylvia.
We're gonna thank you, Sylvia. We're gonna go our next segment now, Corinne, and it's our recipe time.
Ooh.
And so let's have a look. It looks yummy, and I want to.
Hey guys, and welcome to our channel. Today we're cooking with oyster mushrooms. Super easy, super quick. In a bowl you add your salt, soy or tamari. You put your chicken stock powder or any other spices that you have. Next, steak spice. I make my own, but you can use store-bought. Then we're going to add some rice flour, some polenta. That's going to add that crispiness to your steaks. Now slowly add cold water and mix the ingredients together to get that pancake batter consistency. If the mixture is too thick, add extra water. If it's too thin, add extra flour. Get your oyster mushrooms ready, wash them, put them on your baking tray, dust with the flour, toss it. Now get your batter and pour it over the mushrooms. Toss it gently. Mushrooms, especially oyster mushrooms, are a great substitute for meat. Dust the mushrooms with extra polenta. That's gonna give extra crunchiness to the mushrooms once you roast it. Get your pan nice and hot. Drop your mushrooms and you will hear this nice sizzle. That's what you want to hear. Place baking paper on top of your mushrooms and another heavy pan on top of the baking paper and press a bit. You want to sizzle for about 5 minutes on medium-high heat for the juices to evaporate. Once the mushrooms are nice and brown like so, flip them over. Fry for about 2 minutes and then repeat the process by placing the baking paper on top of the mushrooms and then cover it with the heavy pan again and press it firmly. Mushrooms are done, and let's see what William has to say.
I wasn't filming before.
Very crunchy. Tastes like chicken,
But not.
but it's not. Definitely mushroom. Beautiful flavours. Lovely flavour. But just to be sure, we need to keep testing.
Cut that short.
Well. Did you enjoy that?
I did, and actually looks like a really good snack.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say, BB, if you ever get sick of William trying the food, you can call us.
Yeah, just tell it, cook it the day that we're having our episodes. Then tell me to pick it up, and then I'll bring it to the studio, and we can eat it in front of everyone. How does that sound?
He's coming up with all the good ideas tonight. I don't know. This sounds great. Love the way that it looked. It wasn't like, you know, sometimes you get mushroom and it just looks like it's you know, a lot of water's coming out, but this one looks nice and dry and healthy. Baby, how do you come up with all those beautiful recipes?
Yeah. No, and mushrooms are so good for you. Actually,
Yeah, she did.
it's
like
amazing
that.
how things work out, Corinne, because it was last week I actually preached at a church, and I had to do children's story. And guess what the children's story is about? And I didn't even know what the recipe was going to be.
Oyster mushrooms?
No, it was about mushrooms generally. And I won't tell you the story, but because it's too long. But it was a children's story about mushrooms. And so it's really just, there's so many different varieties of mushrooms.
Yes, there
And
are.
but sometimes you've got to be careful what you pick. So this recipe says oyster mushrooms, so stick to the oyster mushrooms that you get
Yeah.
from the shops.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
don't
would
go and
stick
pick
to
some
that.
mushroom that could be poisonous.
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
We've got somebody else. Bruno also said, call me. So there you go, BB. You have Johnny, myself, and Bruno.
They call to pick up the recipes. Not the recipes, but
The actual food.
what you've actually
yeah,
cooked.
that looks really great, doesn't it? And
Yep.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you, BB.
And something else about mushrooms
Yeah.
or fungi. You know how we have the World Wide Web
Mhm.
of internet?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know there's actually a World Wide Web underground through fungus? And that's how trees communicate to other trees, through the fungus under the ground. So really interesting. I watched a documentary on that not long ago. And you can look it up on YouTube or whatever on Fungi World Wide Web. And really interesting how trees and that communicate underground through fungus web.
Maybe they got the idea from the trees.
Don't know.
I thought if it works for trees, we'll try that.
Try the World Wide Web.
Yeah,
internet.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So look, great recipe again. Looks very appetizing, and so looking forward to the next one.
Yes, for sure.
Mm.
And especially like BB said, if you want to replace it, like if you're not a meat eater,
Mhm.
which I'm not.
Yeah.
So this looks really great, like something else to make, to have with your veggies, or like she
Yeah.
had it in, like in a sandwich. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we're going to go to our music segment, and so I'm really looking forward to this. It's really nice. Let's have it.
Wow, that was beautiful. Before we introduce the people, I love choirs. I like the fact that everyone's got a part. They've got, altos and all that, but everyone is working together to make beautiful music.
Yeah.
And there was no music in that clip. Did you notice? It was a cappella. It was gorgeous. It was, I just loved it. I think we just need to bring the
Yeah, no,
people
it's great,
responsible for this.
great.
That was
So,
lovely.
Corinne, we're going to have the some of the people that created this choir
Yes.
or started it. They're going to be our spotlight for this evening.
Yep.
And but before we'll do that, let's have our spotlight clip.
Let's do that.
Mm.
Very nice.
Oh, Corinne. Well, we're going to bring on now our guests, and that's Jade and Andrea. And so if we can have them. Hi, Jade. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Thank you for being willing to come onto our program this evening.
Oh, no
My
worries.
pleasure.
We really enjoyed that the video of the choir there. And so, Jade, I believe you're the conductor. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm currently the conductor of the Melbourne Adventist Youth Choir. It's absolutely a blessing to have so many young people. Yeah.
Yeah. And what inspired you, or whoever started this, to start this regional or this group choir?
Well, especially during COVID, singing is a huge part of my life, and I know Andrea as well. At church, at school, everywhere I would go, I would be like in some sort of choir, and I really enjoyed singing. And obviously in COVID, there was no choirs or singing in groups. And afterwards, when we were getting back together, I was thinking, wouldn't it just be so lovely to be able to sing with so many young people? Because in my country, Romania, there's choirs everywhere. Every church has their youth choir. And I was like, I wish I could be there and have something like that. But then the thought occurred to me, why don't I try, to make something? If there's not something yet, I might as well have a go. So I think I definitely believe God led us both and blessed us in this. But yeah, it was just kind of like I can make the difference as well. So that's what kind of led me to take the step.
Yeah, I really like that because so often people find a problem or something is missing, and they expect other people to solve the problem,
Yes.
to fix it. And I just think it was really great what you said there, Jade. That here you see something's missing or a problem that needed to be solved, and you've decided to step up and to resolve that problem, and that's really good. And I encourage anybody that's watching to, if you see something that's the problem, step up, do it yourself. Don't wait for other people to do it.
Absolutely. And I gather that it's also your passion, like you said. You and Andrea both love music, and it's great that you're using your passion to gather together a group of people, because like you mentioned actually, Jade, COVID and people not being able to meet. So people now really can't get enough of each other because we've been separated. So the choir is a really wonderful thing to connect young people. And and that was really beautiful what we just heard. It was just voices.
Yeah.
Think about that. So who thinks of those ideas, like how the song's going to pan out? Who comes up with that idea?
Like the arrangement and
You
stuff.
composes it? Is that what the word is?
So Jade is not only our conductor, but she's the composer behind the songs as well. So the different arrangements. So in our choir books, we have arranged for MAYC. So Jade arranges the different hymns, and we did a lot of research around copyright and stuff like that. So when we were looking at starting the choir, that was one thing that, Jade, you were like, yep, that's what we're singing. Hymns are a big part of worship. So having something that's a little bit more revamped. I think you heard the rendition of What a Friend We Have in Jesus before. Jade put that little item together.
That's fantastic.
We both
And
have We
Go on,
both have
Jade.
we both have a Spotify playlist where we send each other, oh, we should do this one. Andrea's got all of these. I want to do this song, this song, this song. So she's putting me to work.
That's great. You know, what I really like about this, Corinne, is to see young people like this, you know, really inspired and really active doing things. I think it's wonderful. And, you know, actually, many years ago when my kids were young, they were actually in a regional choir like this as well. It was called the Southeastern Youth Choir.
Oh, yeah.
And you probably know Moy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she was the arranger and conductor and so forth. So yeah, if you know Moy, you can have a chat to her sometime. And it was a really big choir, and they used to go around and do a lot of stuff. So, which gets to my next point. Is what's your vision for the choir? What's the purpose of it? Do you just get together and sing, or do you go out and to places and perform for people, or what's the purpose and vision behind the choir?
Yeah, so we will actually be performing in front of people for the first time in 2 weeks. So we will be performing at the Romanian church for a baby dedication. So it was essentially a ministry not only during rehearsals to get people together. We start with a prayer, we end with a prayer, and kind of have that fellowship together during rehearsals, but also going out and singing. So we're hoping to go to a few places and sing. We have a few performances lined up that we are getting ready for. And then during the Christmas period, we have quite a bit that we are excited for.
Yeah, watch this space. The Christmas period is going to be, we're planning to have like a nice program and performing a lot of places. So hopefully some of the audience can watch us there as well.
Great. Well, you'll have to let us know some of the events that are public events that you'll be performing at, and so we can let our audience know, and they can come and watch and listen.
Yeah.
I do like a statement that you made, Andrea. I love music. I have musicians on both sides of my family's professional musicians, on my dad's side and my mum's side. Somehow it skipped me, but I do enjoy music. And you did mention before, you said that, you know, like taking a hymn, because hymns are my favorite, but putting like a contemporary version of it, I think that's just the best. I like all kinds of songs, but when you take a hymn and you give that a spin, I just love that. And praise the Lord for the work that you are doing. And I would also want to say, if anybody, you know, wants to feel like, oh, look, you know, I want to get to know people as well and, you know, be part of a team. Are you looking for professional singers, just so for people out there? Tell me.
They definitely don't have to be professional. We just do a little like a range test for them. So if you can sing in tune, that's good enough for us. We'll work with that.
Okay. So is there a way people can contact you if they're interested in either your choir are performing for them somewhere at their church or wherever, or if they want to contact you to join, you know, if they're able to, you know, I'm not going to say, you know, what the criteria are or anything like that. I'll leave that up to you. But is there a way that they can contact you, or do you want them to contact through Living News, or how do you want that to happen?
So we have a Instagram page. The handle is just Melbourne Youth Choir. And on there, it will say Melbourne Adventist Youth Choir. There's an option to message us, and there's also an option to email us. So we also have an email, which I think is just melbsdachoir@gmail.com. So on our Instagram is a registration link. So we're taking like half-year intakes. So we'll take an intake of new choirists at the beginning of next year, train them up for a performance, and then again we'll take an intake at the middle of next year. So there's an option there to contact us, or you can contact me directly. I handle some of the liaison work between the churches. But yeah, it's just Melbourne Adventist Youth Choir on Instagram.
Wonderful. And I would say also, if there's anybody watching us that belongs to another community, we want you to promote this program, in your community so that there might be some young people that, are looking for something like that, to join a choir, with young people, with beautiful songs, beautiful arrangements. What else? What else can
I
you ask
did
for?
notice that it was a youth choir, so that so
We're out.
if somebody, so we're out. So Corinne, and even for those that are watching, while we were setting up the studio tonight, we heard Corinne singing in another room. So
Did you?
yes, you were singing. Is that the right hashtag? Melbourne
Yeah,
Youth
so
Choir?
it's just at Melbourne Youth Choir.
At Melbourne Youth Choir, not hashtag Melbourne Youth Choir. Okay.
Yeah. And the email is just Melb SDA Choir.
Melbourne, as in MELB.
Yeah, we should double check before we
Yeah.
put anything out. But I think it's just Melb SDA Youth Choir
Okay.
Yeah. at gmail.com.
Okay. No worries.
So our beautiful team that's in the background, I'm sure they're typing away, and maybe if they can put that up. I think it's really great that we
Yeah.
had you guys on the show today. It's such a wonderful thing. Oh, here it is. I knew.
Perfect. Yep.
Sam, you're on top of everything. Good on you. Yes, yeah. If you're a bit shy and you think, oh, I really want to get to know people, but I'm a bit shy, I would encourage you to just put yourself out there. Have a go. You never know what beautiful friends you could make, and while singing for the Lord as well. Win-win.
Is there anything that we didn't cover tonight that you would actually really like to tell our audience?
We do have a performance scheduled for the 8th of October at Nunawading Christian College. It is the the youth rally. So we will be singing there, and also in November 19th at the East and South Regional. There's a centre in Belgrave. So the
Youth regional?
No, the
General regional.
Yeah, the
Okay.
general regional.
Okay. No worries.
So I'll be singing a few songs there as well.
Cool.
That's great. It's very busy.
Yeah, very busy. No, it's great. And I suppose if people want to know what your itinerary is to go to some of your things, they can contact you at your email and or Instagram, and you'll be able to tell them a list of where you're performing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you very much, Andrea and Jade. Really appreciate you coming on tonight to share about your ministry of the youth choir, and really looking forward to hearing more songs from you.
Yeah.
Thank
me
you
too.
so much
Thank
for
you so
having me.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
We're
great.
going to go on to our next segment.
See you
So
next
thank you
time.
very much. Take care.
Bye. It's lovely to
So-
see young people so
Yeah,
talented.
it is great.
When
really.
I was their age, obviously I had different talents, but I love how young people who make use of their talents
Mhm.
and they and lead the way that way, and
Yeah,
it's just really wonderful to watch.
it is. It is. It's really great. And
Mm.
so we've got a testimony coming up, actually.
Okay.
So looking forward to that.
Do we know the person?
Well,
okay.
hello.
Oh,
Hi,
how about we
Andrea. How
just-
are you?
I'm good. Good to see you guys.
It's been a long time, a whole few seconds since last seen you.
And Jade just vanished. Whoop.
Yeah. Well, we actually have another rehearsal downstairs at the moment. So in
wow.
between a lot of rehearsals, she's just popped down to finish that one.
Right,
Oh.
no worries. Thank you. Look, for our audience sake, just want to share that we've asked Andrea to come on because we wanted to talk to her personally tonight. And for those that don't know, Andrea actually is the brains behind all our graphics for Living News. So all these little clips that come on, the screen behind us, the graphics there, all the graphics and video clips that we have that's specifically for Living News, the brains behind that and created all of those. So thank you so much, Andrea. Since we started in December last year with Living News, I've been wanting to interview you. So just to show people and to show our gratitude for you and the work that you've done behind the scenes in Living News.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. It's been really fun. I think I've learned a lot during the process. So it's been good tinkering around. A lot of things that I didn't think I could do, I ended up doing. So it's been really good.
Yeah.
Well done.
So we wanted to get to know you a bit more, Andrea. And, as a young person, there's so many different things you could be doing. But as we saw, as we've just said about, your involvement in Living News and all the graphics and all that, the time that you've put in with that, and also your work with, the choir, helping to set that up. You seem to be involved in so many things, and I believe that you're a youth leader as well in your local church, and so you seem to be very active in ministry. And just as a young person, why do you do that rather than going out partying and doing things like many other young people would be doing?
Yeah, I think it's a story that started a very long time ago. So for a little bit of background, my grandfather is a pastor, my father is a pastor. So I grew up very much in that ministry family, very active. I saw my parents being very active, and that's kind of just how we grew up. And then I think I discovered for myself who God was along the way. And then I think he put on my heart to start working with my peers in building them up, but also in guiding them down a path that I had taken because it had given me so much peace, and just sharing with others in, I guess, practical ways what God had done for me, and also just being there. And it was kind of like I was at church. I felt as though I wasn't worshiping when I wasn't doing something. So I'm not a very consumeristic Christian. I do like to get involved.
That's great. And I do like what you said that, there's an assumption that just because you have grown up in a certain environment and watched your parents and your grandparents, I do like what you said, that when you found God for yourself, because there's a lot of young people who are doing the routine of, doing what mom and dad or grandparents do. But I love you being honest and saying, when I found him for myself, and that's the best thing ever, because then you get to know the purpose of what he has in store for you. And if there's a young person watching there and saying the same thing, like, I'm not really sure, I'm not really connected, what would you encourage that young person to do?
Well, I think we've all felt at one point not connected, and it is hard to reach out. It is really difficult, especially when you feel as though no one's reaching back. But for me personally, I found that there is always someone that reaches back, and that someone is God. And taking time and spending time in the scripture, spending time in prayer, you start to kind of have a different understanding of who God is. And then through that kind of gives you the courage to reach out. And I'm very blessed to be part of a very welcoming and very active church. So I encourage, even people at work, if they want to come along, just to come and have a look and to see how our church kind of does things. And then it's small steps. It's not like you come to youth and then you're involved in a million different things. It's just coming, it's just participating and being open to it. And then when you say yes to God, he will give you a lot of things to do. I think that's what happened to me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Andrea, when you you said your grandfather was a pastor and your dad was a pastor, and so I assume when you were younger, you attended church because your parents did, and just did that. But at what point and what triggered your personal relationship with God?
Yeah, well, I think as a teenager, I was searching a lot. I was trying to figure out my place in the world, my place in my family, in my church. And I had a lot of questions, and I was angry for no reason and kind of just figuring stuff out. And then I think, well, actually, I know the exact day I gave my heart to God, like actually. But I think it was a lot of prep work before that I didn't realize. But I think I was 17 because it was January 1st, 2015. So from that point onwards, I think that I mark the date as that is the date that I decided that I was going to make a huge effort to make the faith my own. And I was on a trip to Queensland. I was by myself visiting my cousins, and I think we had gone to a Bible study on the Friday night. And honestly, I don't think it was a remarkable Bible study, but for me, it was something that touched my heart, and it kind of just clicked. And I was like, okay, very interesting. And then I got back from the trip and I told Dad, I was like, we need to go to Coorong. I need a Bible. I had, a few Bibles that I was given for my baptism, but I was like, I want a grown-up Bible. I want a nice brown leather one. And I bought that one, and then I started studying it. And then funny enough, my faith grew from there. And now that is a very sentimental Bible to me. But that was the point. That was the date that I decided.
Wow.
But yeah, it was. For some people, it's not a date. For some people, it's a lifelong process. And I think a lot of work that I probably won't even know until very much later on, kind of what happened behind the scenes. But just an interaction at a random Bible study with some random people that I didn't go to, they didn't go to my church, I didn't go to theirs, was in a different state, that had such an impact on my life. And then, from there to now, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea. We've actually run out of time, but was there anything that you wanted to mention, or that that we haven't covered?
No, I think that's it. It's just to those young people, I guess, who will see this or maybe watch later on, God reaches out to you as well when you reach out to him. And that when you find your community, everything kind of just falls into place. And that sense of belonging is so it's what makes life better.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so wonderful to see someone young like Andrea, so passionate and willing to serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Andrea. I really appreciate the time that you've spent tonight with us, and also for everything that you're doing. Just praise the Lord for you and your service.
Yeah, thank you for being a good role model, and for actually, someone's put down also an amazing Pathfinder leader. Which is another, involvement in somewhere else that you have. So, Andrea would have any excuse not to start something new. There's already so much on her plate. But I did hear two words that I take from that: belonging and having peace in your heart. I heard you say those two things. And I know for a fact at the moment, with everything that's going on in this world, these two things are really vital: to belong and to have peace in your heart no matter what's going on around you. So thank you. That was a beautiful testimony, Andrea.
Thank you, Andrea. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
See ya.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Well, Corinne, let's come to the end of our episode tonight.
That flew.
Yeah, it flew.
Yes.
We're running out of time.
I really enjoyed this episode.
I enjoy every
Johnny.
episode.
Yes, I do. And even though we talked a lot about young people today and
Yeah.
belonging and connecting and joining a choir and all these things, but there could be even some people who are young at heart, like Johnny and myself, who would love to belong to a community, who would love to, if you want to just reach out to us and send us, a message, or, to know about things that you could be involved with, please let us know, because we don't want you to be just there by yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So as we come to an end, Corinne, just want to remind everybody that if you're interested in one of the books, the free gift from tonight, please send us a message, either private message or through Facebook or YouTube, and we'll put your name into the draw at the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
So thank
It's
you.
a beautiful book, beautiful program. Thank you for watching, and God bless you until we see each other again.
Amen. God bless.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everyone.